Today on the channel, the newest micro carry optic from Holosun, the EPS Carry. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are taking a look at the Holosun EPS Carry, which is a fully enclosed micro pistol optic. Now before we get started, the usual couple of notes. Number one, as usual, everything that I talk about in my videos can be found on the blog links page, which is linked somewhere down in the description down there. Number two, every firearm that we're looking at today has been safety checked beforehand, and there is no ammo present anywhere near us. Number three, last but not least, if you appreciate what I'm doing here, consider throwing me a super thanks. Just like everything else on the channel, these optics, the guns, the ammo, everything is funded out of my own pocket, so any and every little bit definitely helps. The Holosun 407K was introduced in 2020 as Holosun's entry into the micro pistol optic category, and it quickly made a splash, becoming the go-to optic for a lot of people for their concealed carry weapons, including me. Now, fast forward a few years, and Holosun has rolled out the EPS Carry. The EPS Carry is, in essence, a fully enclosed version of that 407K. It shares a lot of features with its older sibling, but it's packed into a fully enclosed body for some added reliability. The EPS Carry measures 1.6 inches long, 0.94 inches tall, and 0.98 inches wide at the base at its widest point. This makes it basically identical to the 407K in overall dimension. Also, just like the 407K, the body is made out of 7075 T6 aluminum and it has a glass window. It is IPX8 water resistant and it weighs in at exactly 1 ounce, which is, surprisingly enough, identical to the 407K. MSRP for the EPS Carry is about $390 and you can find it at your favorite online dealer for under that. I got this one for $330 at Brownells. Now I did do a quick unboxing video on this, so if you want to see everything in the box, go ahead and check that out. I will link it also in the description. The EPS Carry is powered by a single CR1632 battery, which Holosun throws in the box, and it's actually installed already in that same battery tray on the side of this optic as in the 407K. Now this means that the battery can be replaced without having to remove the optic from the weapon, which means that subsequently you don't need to re-zero this thing every time you change the battery like in some other optics. The EPS Carry can deliver up to 50,000 hours of life on setting 6, and aiding this battery life is the shake awake feature that you all know that I love. This means that the optic turns off automatically after a certain amount of time to save its battery, so if you just, kind of put this down on the table or throw it in the safe or anything like that, after a few minutes it's going to shut off. But as soon as it senses any movement, like you picking it up or pulling it out of a holster or anything like that, it's going to turn the optic back on right away. Now during testing, I've never picked this thing up or pulled it out of the safe or anything like that and had the reticle not be turned on. So I'm very confident in Holosun's shake awake feature. Now in addition to that battery tray, on the body of the EPS Carry are the adjustment turrets and the brightness controls. The turrets are located on the top and the right side of the optic. The top turret handles the elevation adjustment, and this right side turret handles the windage adjustment. These adjust in 1.5 MOA per click increments with a total adjustment of plus or minus 30 MOA available. They also make a nice tactile and audible click when you adjust them, just like the 407K. Now the brightness control buttons are on the left side of the body here, and as you can see, they're a little bit bigger as what we got on the 407K, and I believe that's likely due to the more real estate we have on the body of the EPS Carry. They're still flush mounted, so they're easy to use, but they're hard to accidentally bump adjust when you're manipulating. There's also the same lockout feature, which disables input from the buttons to eliminate any kind of misinput altogether. To do this, you can hold down the plus button for 3 seconds, and the dot will blink to confirm activation or deactivation of that lock mode. This is the setting that I use. I pick a brightness and I lock it in at that brightness. It's a brightness that's bright enough to be used outside in the daytime, and it's probably a little bit too bright for nighttime and indoors, but not having to constantly remember to tap my brightness up or down whenever I go in or out or when it turns nighttime is worth it to me. Now, this is the EPS Carry RD6, as you can see here, which means that its reticle is a 6 MOA dot, and it's got 10 levels of brightness adjustment as well as 2 levels of night vision compatible brightness. Just like the 407K, that dot is really nice and crisp, and it works even for people with astigmatism like me. There's a really tiny bit of bloom around the edges, but nowhere near what I get with other optics. The window itself is a tiny bit wider than what you get on the 407K, and I'm talking about tenths of a millimeter here, so it's not something that would be noticeable if they weren't side by side. The clarity on the glass is great, again, just like the 407K. Of course, the real story here is that the emitter is now fully enclosed, which means that it's fully protected from the environment and nothing can get in there. This means that something getting in there to block the emitter and rendering the optic useless is now impossible. If anything gets on there, you can just wipe it off the back or wipe it off the front. dust and water are sealed out as well. Now this is exciting to me because I tend to get dust and sweat and crap building up in here when I carry, and cleaning that out sometimes means you need like a Q-tip or something like that. Now with this, I can just wipe this guy off with my t-shirt or something like that and I'm good to go. Now, just like the 407K, the EPS Carry is cut for a Holosun K footprint, and Holosun throws in an RMSC to K adapter plate in the box as well. You can see it down there. Now, this is great because most micro carry handguns use an RMSC footprint, so there's no need to buy a plate. It is worth it to note though that on my application, this Hellcat, the plate needed to be modified ever so slightly to fit. Specifically, I had to open up the rear mounting holes a little bit to get the plate to sit flat on the slide, which is not a big deal for me. It just took a couple seconds with a pin file. Now, as far as initial zeroing of the optic, Holosun claims that the EPS Carry comes 0 to 25 yards from the factory, and I found this to be pretty much true, just like I have with all other Holosun products in the past. I dropped it on here and I found I was hitting a little bit low, so I gave it a couple clicks and I was right on target. So taking into account how happy I am with the 407K, it's no surprise that overall I really like the EPS Carry. The added peace of mind of that fully enclosed emitter is great for me personally, and it comes with no penalties in size or weight or battery life, because again, they're all the same as the 407K. My only real quibble with this is the price. The $100 price increase over the 407K gives me a little bit of pause, even at the price that I paid. Now, if you need something right now, I would say just buy the 407K and save yourself the $100. Put it towards practice, put it towards ammo, put it towards something. Otherwise, if you absolutely have to have the EPS Carry, wait until it goes on sale. That $100, I mean, that can be a thing. So that's my review of the Holosun EPS Carry. Overall, I think it's great. I'm gonna go put some more rounds through this now and possibly do a long-term review. So let me know in the comments if that's something that you're interested in. Make sure that you're subscribed and you've got that bell rung because it really helps me out with the algorithm. Throw me a like or a comment if you appreciate what I'm doing here. And if you really appreciate what I'm doing, consider throwing me that super thanks. Up next on the channel should be a look at some budget holster options for the Taurus 856. That's all I've got for you this time. So until next time, stay safe.